La lo lo. Oh. A B C D. Was it? What is it? La lo lula li lula. Hi, beautiful people. How are you? I'm so happy you're back with us here at Designing with Margo. A lot of things has changed for this little bit, this little year, this little 6 months, this little COVID situation. So I'm switching the gears a bit, and I have a little new segment coming around. I'm going to be taking the segment here at the studio. I will be talking all things weddings, events, business, how we're handling things. I'm going to be making things with you when it comes to all the things that I love: interior design, lifestyle, flowers, table setting, fashion. I know that you also love all those things, and you have also wrote to me and asked me. So I think that the best way to go about it is creating these beautiful weekly videos, answering your questions, bringing you values, helping you perhaps answer some decor questions that you have for your house, or maybe a private event that you're holding due to the circumstances. So to start off this new, I guess, venture of ours, I want to have a new, I guess, a refresh video about me. So this video is just kind of answering some questions that came throughout the last couple of months on social media. So I'm just gonna go jump right ahead and answer those questions. And I do hope that you subscribe and like the video and share it with your friends and join this new journey that we have on Designing with Margo. And I'm your host, Margarita, aka Margo. So let's jump right into your questions. Question number 1. How did you get into the event industry? I always say that I think it's one of those things where the event industry chose me. I never had a mom or a dad or a brother or a cousin or anybody who were doing events or owned banquet halls. Like I said, the industry chose me, and having my mom as a florist and being around flowers, regardless, we never did events. What happened is, when I actually was giving birth to my kids, my mom had a flower shop, and I took over the weight of some of the small weddings that came through her shop. And I enjoyed it very much. And because I have 2 boys, I have two boys, 10 and 12. They were really close together, the births and as well as the maternity leaves. So I had quite a long period of time to spend in my mom's shop and take care of her projects and see them through. And so I believe that marked my beginning and entering and experiencing events. But if you ask me honestly, and if I kind of go back to where it all started, I was always a hostess with the mostest. But to be honest though, always, I am the one who's putting an event. I am the one who's hosting the Christmas dinner. I am the one who's designing, decorating, going over the top of just a regular dinner or a regular picnic. You know, it's always over the top. But it kind of goes into the second question that I have somebody ask. So what is your background in events, or how did you know you wanted to get into the event industry? So I guess let's answer that together. My educational background is actually in interior design. So I took after high school, I was a very artistic kid. Let's start with that. And I took every single arts, sculpting, illustration course, design course. And then when I wanted to go to college, I took a design program. And that design program had 3 elements. It was window display, which dealt with 3D objects and things like that. Then it had a graphic design option, course segment, and interior design. So if you can imagine, now that I look back at it and I see the value that brings into events is beyond words. And if I would recommend anybody in events, you know, that background from graphic to illustration to fashion to interior design, this all helps you. So for me, it for sure did. Through the event industry and through the interior design background, I can see floor plans, visualize properties and spaces more than just on a flat paper, but I can visualize it. The graphic element of it, brings in just the graphic elements of any event. And then the visual display element of that program really brought out the theatrical and the ideas that you can create in any given event. So I really cherish that, education. And then, of course, because this is from my friends and my mom, fashion was always my number one. My dream was to go to New York and become a fashion stylist. And so I was looking at different post-secondary schools in fashion after that program. And I found Ryerson in Toronto, and we lived in Vancouver at that time. So that's where I went. So my post-college degree, my bachelor degree, is actually in fashion communications, which dealt with every single aspect of fashion, from campaigns, advertising, marketing, photography, history, all of that. Everything just flowed so nicely together, and it makes me who I am today. It makes me the event designer that I am today because of all of these layers of like a Napolitan cake, So yeah, this is who I am today because of all of those beautiful experiences. So to the next question, what is my favorite food? This is really interesting because I actually went vegan 2 years ago, and I don't want to say that I'm a foodie, but I love food, but I'm not like obsessed about food. I just love to dress up and go to restaurants and eat food, but I'm not like a food person. So like if I miss breakfast, I'm not gonna like die or anything. I'll just have a coffee. So you should have asked me what's my favorite beverage, because then I would say it's coffee, and I can't live without coffee, and I would kill without coffee. So you better give me coffee first before you ask anything of me in the morning. But in terms of food, I would have to say, well, actually my kids and I were always talking about that. And I think that I'm more of a salad soup person. So yeah, I know, boring, but what are you gonna do? What do you do for fun? So honestly, I love reading and I love lounging. So I love soft and comfortable things like, I love, my bed and the softness of cushions. I love lounges by the pool. I love big armchairs and reading. So those are things that I really love, and it's kind of like a luxury to me. But I also love, I love working out. I love spending time with my friends. I love baking, and I love barbecues, and I love going to the beach. I'm trying to find things that makes you feel good as well and gives those endorphins. And even if it's sometimes I would just need a hug from my youngest son or from my oldest, doesn't matter. Whoever is around, I just need a hug. So I would just get, you need to, I think maybe that's the artist within. You need to experience his feelings and experiences, or walk by the beach or just walking outside to just kind of bring in new emotion and new energies into your life. So that's what I do for fun. Okay, this is a fashion question, which I really appreciate and I love. Where is your style from, or how you found your style, and what is your favorite place to shop? So this is a great question because, as I was saying, fashionista is for sure something that was mentioned before when people said, oh, Margarita, and there's always she always dresses so cool or whatever. And it wasn't cool, it was more different. So I was always very different. So starting from age, I remember 10, 11, 12, that mid school, I was actually talking to a couple of my girlfriends, because we were 3, 4 girls that would always hang out together, and they said, you don't remember, Margarita? You always were the black sheep, you'd always, but in a good way, where you always were reading Vogues. You were 12 reading Vogues, trying to see what's hot. When Michael Jackson was popular, right? You'd always wear the hats, and you'd always want gloves and different boots. And so I guess I was always experimenting with looking different, but not on purpose. It's just because I wanted to express myself. So I never saw it as a bad thing. I never dressed to impress. I always did it for myself. And every single thing that I buy right now has to make me feel good and look good. But I always know that my biggest thing is that even studying art history and fashion history, I'm really big believer of basic, beautiful, classic basic, and then just accessorize the crap out of it. I always love extra jewels, extra accessories, extra bags, extra shoes. And this is something that you can literally have black trouser on, white shirt, and you're good to go. This has changed throughout the years, but I do believe in having this like almost like a uniform look where you wear just black or jeans and a black shirt or whatever. So it's easy. It's also something that looks good on you. Stick to it. And yeah, so to answer kind of your question, what is my favorite place to shop? I love supporting local, but I also believe that because if you find something that looks good on you, jeans, pair, shirts, I always get a couple and I just use it. And honestly, if it's a local shop, or even if it's Amazon, if it's Zara, if it's sales at wherever, whatever store I'm at that point, that's what it is. Alrighty. Oof. This is a nice questionnaire. What or who you get inspired by? This is a great question because first and foremost, I really do think I started painting since I was 4 years old, and I'm gonna actually jump right in and answer the last question, which is where you are from. And I'm actually from Moscow. I was born in Moscow. I'm Russian, and Russian parents and Russian traditions was always you were either in the arts, in the sports, or in the mathematics kind of thing. So there's always a school that you go into to elevate your studies. So I was drawing, I was dancing, I was singing, doing all of that from the very little age. And the one that continued throughout was painting. So I painted since I was 4 with oils. I still have the paintings I enjoy them now. I think I was better then than I'm now. But what inspires me is first art. I can't say that it's art for me, and I think that for me everything is art and art is everything. So people's emotions, people's attitudes, nature, food, events, weddings, color, textures, like all of that it's like a symphony of everything that art represents. And art is also so human, and also so when you have 10 people looking at one piece of art, you're gonna have 10 different views and opinions. It's one of those things that's what inspires me, because events speak to people, it creates emotions, weddings, birthdays, colors, themes, it evokes feelings, it evokes thought, it evokes experiences, attitudes, and that's what art does. Anything that touches people's hearts like that, in that magnitude, inspires me. So, and I guess the next question is, what motivates you? Now, inspiration and motivation are kind of sisters, but art not necessarily is moving you out from your bed in the morning. And one of the things that does that is passion. And I'm a really competitive person. I'm not always kind of saying it out loud because I can feel it myself. I can feel it within myself that I am a very competitive person. So, all the athletes should be really thankful for me that I went into arts and not into, per se, politics or athletics or sports. But, for me, it's the passion and the challenge. So, and it's almost the same. It's always kind of like get mixed together in my case. So yes, art inspires me and makes my brain move, but it's the fire that lights me up in the morning to have an idea to execute it and to do it better than anyone, to do it in my own way, to continuously express myself and push forward the boundaries of basic, whatever, whoever saw. And when I talk about anything like events, style shoot, a piece of art or a photo shoot, a style shoot, a project, a product, whatever that I do, I'm trying to do it the best, the most, the extra. So it's a challenge to just completely move forward, persevere, blow boundaries. And that's what I find also artists and fashion designers do. And I'm glad I have that bug because it makes me who I am. So I never look at it as a fault. And I think anybody who has this fire lit underneath their bodies is always going to do well in life. So the last question was, where are you from? And I already answered that. I was born in Moscow. I love that city. It's truly incredible, and it's truly beautiful, and it's truly inspiring. And that's like the whole art and architecture element of maybe a little bit nostalgic, but I am Canadian with Russian roots. That's how I look at it. So, and as we say, do svidaniya, Rasputin. Thank you guys for joining me. I cannot wait to tell you more about all of my experiences and all of the projects that we can do together. And I hope you subscribe and comment below what is it that you want me to answer in the future. Maybe projects or maybe questions that you have that you want me to answer. I would love all of the support. And I will see you in the next episode where I'm going to be talking all things entrepreneurship, weddings, events, and answering all the questions that you might have, bringing you value and information and motivation and knowledge about all of the things that we talk here on Designing with Margo.